Hi everyone, Merry Christmas. Hope you're getting things ready. I'm having a little get together tonight with some friends, so I've been trying to get my house decorated and this, that, and the other. Um, Last week, I showed you this adorable card that was inspired by Lynn Dunn. She's a fellow demonstrator. Oh, and my name is Laura Lee Calais, and welcome to Lunch with Laura. I always forget to say that. Well, anyway, um, I did, instead of doing, I guess, the major number one uh, little thing that she had shown us, which is a gift card holder, I did what you did with the leftovers last week. And it was something similar to this. I evidently the two I mailed already, and I had to whip this one up right quick. But it's using this little scrap from the designer series paper. So let me show you what we're doing today. This is the precious little designer series little pocket holder for a gift card, money, whatever. And it's made from our DSP or designer series paper. And Stampin' Up! Is known for their paper, whether it's cardstock and all the wonderful array of colors that we have, or it's the designer paper. Everything is awesome. So, let me show you how to do this right quick. And you can make two gift card holders out of one sheet of 12 by 12. This one is cut at 5 1/4, not 5 1/2 like we do for a regular card. You can do it that way, but this one is done at 5 1/4 by 12. Now I have gone ahead, and it's kind of hard to see, but I scored the lines at 4 inches and at 8 inches. So that's where you're going to be folding over the card. Now, the most important thing is to decide which side of your designer paper do you want to be the outside of your card. Whenever I do these things that require cutting and doing together like boxes or whatever, I make a template out of regular paper. The times I am positive I know what I'm doing, I mess up. So, this was just a sheet of legal paper. And see, I scratched off the pattern, because I wanted this one to show. So this is going to be like that and like that. So this gives you how you're going to trim it. If you do it the other way, your gift card won't stay up in the pocket, okay? So, and what I find was helpful was to take a pencil, and when you find your fold from creasing it, put a little pencil mark. Can you see that? Just so that you can find it, because this paper is busy and it's hard to see the crease lines. Then you're going to line up what you're going to cut in this little valley of our paper trimmer. So there's my little tick mark, and I want it to go all the way down to the very point right here. So get that lined up. Then you're going to take your paper cutter, and there is your little scrap that's left over that you can make another card with. Now you could also do it like this if you wanted to do that. okay? But I wanted the stripe side to show. So that's the reason I cut that little triangle off from top to bottom over there. And I'm just going to crease this. I'm not going to use my bone folder. Since Designer Series paper is not as thick as cardstock, you don't want to do a whole lot of folding back and forth. Another thing is, if you use a stylus to score your lines, there's a large end and a small end on the stylus. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's my take your pick tool. Okay, you see how this, let me undo it so you can see both of them. Okay. So this is a small end of the stylus. I use that for thicker paper such as cardstock. This is your fatter end, and I use it for my Designer Series paper. Now, when you do your score, you want to be able to see it, but you don't want to press down too hard because you can rip your paper. So that takes one to know how to do something like that. All right, on the inside, I am going to use, and this, the measurements are a little bit different since this is not 5 1/2. Remember that this is 4 1/4 by 4 and 4 again, and that's the way your paper is going to line up. So this is 5 inches by 3 3/4. Then you have 2 layers of white. This one will be 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use my liquid Tombow glue. Oh, I've got a brand new bottle. That all of our adhesives have different uses. This one can be used when you want to move, if you're putting something in and it needs to be in a certain place. It gives you a little bit of give or leeway so that if you don't get it quite in the right place, you can move it. Okay, and I'm going to put the other piece down, and you just want to get a thin line. But remember in kindergarten, I'm a kindergarten teacher, I always had to impress on the kids not to press too hard because you don't want it to squeeze out when you press your paper down. Now, I got it a little too close, so I'm just moving it over a little bit. Okay. Now we can put down one of our white pieces. These little card holders are so quick and easy to put together. It takes a little bit to cut the paper and get it right, and then you can just blow and go. Okay, now before I put this one down, I want to stamp my tree. The tree, this is from Trees for Sale that's in the mini catalog right now. Let me show you what it looks like. And it does come with dies. So I'm using, we've got a small, medium, and large tree, and then the two-step, the second step that you're going to stamp, and I'm going to show you that. You've got small, medium, and large there. When you go to stamp, you're going to use 2 colors that are compatible, and you're going to take the solid tree first in the lightest color. Trust me, this was trial and error too. If you do it the other way, it won't show up as, well, it won't show up at all. Okay, so I'm going to press that down firmly. And there we have just a plain pear pizzazz boring tree. Now, let's see if we can spice it up a little bit. I'm going to take Garden Green, which is the color that I used in the designer paper, and the color I did there. By the way, this particular paper is retired. I used up all of my current, so y'all forgive me for that. Don't report me to the Stampin' Up! Police. Okay, here is your two-step. This is the second step, and because they're photopolymer, it's real easy to line this up. Now, what do you think about that? Looks a whole lot better than that just old boring tree. So I'm going to put that on the inside of my card, but I'm also going to, let me do this right quick, and then we'll get to the front of the card. Okay, and see how you can kind of just wiggle this around, because if you use others of our glue, they're not as forgiving, and once it's down, it's down. Now we do need to make the little pocket, and I used some of this on our sample here, and I just put it on the very edge, and I think because there are layers there, it didn't catch as well. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to take some of our tear and tape, and I'm going to put it right along the edge. This stuff is wonderful. And then you just tear it or cut it. Then I like to burnish the end just a little bit. Here's a popsicle stick. It just gives you a little bit of something to grab onto to help peel that off. Okay, so now, and I'm going to make sure it lines up at the bottom and stick that down. Now, oh, you can see what I got for my birthday. My birthday was last Friday, so my husband gave me a gift card to Lululemon. So there is your gift, and there it closes. Now we need to decorate the front. Because this is so busy, I wanted to do a little tag card. I always think of this as a tray. It looks like these are handles. And what I wanted to do before I stick it down is to go ahead and do my stamping, because it's going to be popped up. And if you've ever tried stamping something that's anchored here and here with a dimensional and stamping in the middle, it's not going to come out. So do that before you adhere your decorations to the front. I'm just going to put this in the middle. And there we go with the boring tree. Now I can close that up. And here we come. And even if it is off just a little bit, it's still going to be awesome. I just think that is so cute, and it just makes such a difference. Now I'm going to, after I close my pads up, I hope y'all are using the extra around here from your dimensionals. I use every bit that I can get out. So I'm just going to clip these, and I'm going to stick one on each corner to anchor it down. Oops. Okay, I'm going to put this right in the middle. Then I have stamped Merry Christmas, and I just fussy cut. That's what we call it when you use paper and scissors instead of die cutting it out. And I'm going to put some dimensionals right on here so that it's popped up just a little bit. Now, there you have your adorable little gift card holder that someone's going to open up, and who knows, they might find Lululemon in their stocking. But I just think this is adorable. Now remember, this is a very simple, basic card. I'm not sure what's wrong with me, but lately I have been doing simple stuff where I would usually add a ribbon, add some sequins or rhinestones to it to give it a little glitz and glamour. But this shows you the basics. And how easy is that out of just one 5 1/4 piece of designer series paper that's creased and scored at 4 inches and at 8 inches. Then you're going to cut your little triangle off, and that'll be for your card. Add some insides. I like to layer the green or whatever color your paper is, and then put the white on top. If you want to do any stamping, you can do that. You can also add a little piece of DSP along here if you want. There are a number of things that you can do to step this up a little bit. But I just wanted to show you the basics. And then the card that was made with the leftovers. And I just think that is great. And Lynn Dunn, I don't think I've met you, but I love your ideas. And I thank you for sharing this one with us so that I could share it with my people. So it's just so much fun. If you have not tried stamping, you need to, because it is a way to bring people together, and everybody can be doing their own thing, and everybody's having fun. Until next week, and I plan on being here even though we're leaving for California on the 24th, so to see my sister. So until then, get all your shopping done. Try to get you a glass of wine, put your feet up and relax. Don't make yourself crazy. Just try to enjoy the holidays. And I'll see you next week, 12 o'clock Thursday. And until then, love you. Take care. Bye. Are you hungry? You were a good girl. You didn't get to see anybody though, did you? Okay. I'm going to go see Miss Penny. And I'll be back. shoot.